In this lesson, you will see how to create a new taxonomy vocabulary for your site. Actually, there are two types of taxonomy in Drupal. First type is called as free form and the second type is structured. Free form taxonomy is nothing but a tagging and is readily available in most Drupal content types already. Right from the first project, we already have been using tagging. See these tags here that we created in the first project? This helps create categorization for the content. Clicking on any one of them will get you a list of all the articles with exact same tag. The very popular hashtags that you use on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and other social media is nothing but a free form taxonomy. You know how they work, and it is used to categorize similar content. So the focus of this lesson really will be on creating structured taxonomy. Start by clicking on this structure admin menu link, and in this page select a taxonomy. You will see that there will be a single pre-built entry called as the tags in this listing. As I had mentioned before, tags freeform taxonomy is a part of Drupal core and it's out of the box. Anything else that you want, you will have to create, as I will show you now. Just click on this add vocabulary button. If you remember, this earlier project was a corporate website for a watch manufacturing company. A suitable taxonomy for this site will be different watch movements. So give this an appropriate name and a suitable description and hit the save button. Immediately after getting a confirmation message, you can create the terms for your new vocabulary. So click on this add term button. When you are doing this in real life situations, you should have planned out your vocabulary and terms on paper completely before you start here. Now on this page, start with the name and a description. I had them ready, so I just pasted them in. Relations is to build a hierarchy of terms. You can make this particular term a child of another existing term. This is a major advantage of using structured vocabularies. I will talk more about this later. I will not use this here on this page. There is another way to do this, and we'll see that later. Last control is for an URL alias. This is very useful for SEO. I recommend that you always use this. I'm just going to give the same term. Okay. I recommend that you always use this optional feature, and more about this later in another lesson. And after you are completely done, hit the save button. The specialty of this page is after the confirmation message, you return back to a blank add term page. This is because Drupal knows that generally many terms are created at one time. So it returns you back to the term creation page. So in exactly the same fashion, create all your terms. I will edit the video and create the terms in the background just to keep this lesson video shorter. Okay, I am back on the vocabulary listing page. You can see our newly created vocabulary here. And to see the terms that I created, I will click on this action button, list terms. Now on this page, it is possible to visually set the hierarchy. You should be familiar with this Drupal interface. In our case, specifically, manual movement and automatic movement are actually just two types of mechanical movements. These are child terms to the mechanical movement. So I just created that structure visually, and when you're done, never forget to save. And finally, with that, we are done creating our new taxonomy vocabulary. There is still a very crucial part remaining before we can actually use this taxonomy. We will see that in the next lesson. Before I conclude now, there are some important points that you should note. There are pros and cons to using both the types of taxonomy, that is freeform and structured. Freeform tagging's main advantage is that it is not rigid. Content creators can add tags easily post facto after creating their content just by typing it in. Convenience is the greatest advantage. However, on the flip side, it is extremely easy for authors to misspell or use synonyms of the tags, in which case they are creating multiple duplicate tags, or miss out key tags that they want to add, and so on. These problems are all too evident on the social media, and I am sure that you might have seen this firsthand. The major advantage of structured taxonomy vocabularies is that you can create hierarchies. Once you do that, you can tag highly specific content like automatic movement, or a more generic umbrella tag like a mechanical movement. Of course, extra effort is required to design and create the vocabularies upfront, and this can hardly be called as a disadvantage. With Drupal, you can use both the taxonomy forms on the same content type. Not only that, you can create as many structured vocabularies as you want. There is no limit. And you can use it on the same content type also. So you have complete freedom. The only recommended best practice is to allow both forms whenever possible. And so with that, I will conclude this lesson and see you in the next.